Okay, I think it's time I harvest my galangal. Give it a shot anyway. So most of the stuff I'm doing here I've taken from Mark at Self-Sufficient Me. Always worth a good look. Great videos from that guy. So what we're going to do, move in. As we can see, lots of growth down there. Tip the pot over and we'll empty it out and see what it is. But it's about, 2 metres tall, I suppose. My first problem is I can't move it. Roots have grown through. So I'm going to get spade and try digging underneath and levering it out. That's it. Well, that was nowhere near as bad as I thought. So now we'll try and take it out. Hello, Rufus. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Say hello. Say hello, Ruf. Silly boy. Okay. My microphone doesn't arrive until tomorrow or Monday. So hopefully this audio will come out all right. I'm just going to cut these off. They'll go in the compost. It's really good for that. Again, thank you, Mark. And I'm going to save a bit of this for replanting, of course. And the rest I'll leave a dry or freeze or find some way of keeping it. Just doing this to make it a bit easier to get out. I would, looking at the Self-Sufficient Me video, recommend growing in a big pot like this because it looks really hard to dig out. So if you're old and worn out like me, probably be a bit much to try and dig out. So now comes the interesting part. I started this off with one little bit of galangal, a couple of inches long I think it was, that I bought at the supermarket. There we go. Well, certainly getting root bound, you can see. Let's have a look. Looks to be a lot of it there. And I'm going to hose to spade it out. I buy these cheap tags, but they aren't very good. Not long term anyway, and because they shatter into little pieces, not being UV stable, probably not good for the microplastics in the garden. Certainly looks like a lot of galangal, doesn't it? Yeah. This shit I'll do a part forward now. I wonder if it'd be easier if I cut the roots off. Anyway, just chopping the roots off here to make it a little bit easier to get out. Hopefully it won't damage the galangal. There we go. And we'll do a bit more hose. I believe you can eat these bits. We might try. See if we can find a recipe for them. Okay, so I'm going to clean these up. Not sure where to trim them. I might not trim them yet, then trim them down to size once I've looked it up on the interwebs, see what I meant to do. But if we have a look in here, we can see I've got quite a lot, and all we planted was a piece about that big, maybe a bit smaller. 2 years on, I think it's 2 years anyway, we've got a lot. I will weigh it once it's all prepared and pick out some for replanting. So from what I gather, I'll leave that. Oh no, this one's actually going to be good for planting, I think. We've got a new growth coming on here. So what we might do is save this one for planting, and hopefully it'll come up. These are my really good 10 inch scissors. I think they cost me 99 cents. Want me to cut your nose off? Then how would you smell? Awful. Alright, I'll go through and do these and clean them up. Be back soon. Okay, we've got nearly 2.4 kilos, but I've left out 4 reasonable ones to replant, so I shall pot them up tomorrow, maybe. I'll leave them out for a little while. Okay, we're back in the kitchen now, and what I'm going to do is go through this galangal here that I harvested earlier. Trim it off, get it ready for drying, and also pick out some more to replant. So this would make a really nice one to replant, but I will break it up into small pieces. So I'll leave that aside for the moment. But what we're going to do, there we go. There's a nice one to prepare for drying. And what we'll do is just chop it so I can get to it a little bit easier. Very fibrous. Oh boy, that smells good. Chop where the stalk was off. Yeah, and it's not easy to peel with a peeler, so I'm actually going to cut it off. Actually, I might get the peeler and try again. 1 second. Okay, so I'll try the peeler. Oh, it's nice and fresh, so it's actually working quite well. So I don't need to cut it off. I'm going to try an interesting way of drying it. I've got a hanging herb drying net out the back. I'm going to put it in there rather than use my electric one. Electric ones are good, but require a fair bit of monitoring. So I'm thinking if I slice this nice and thin and then just let it dry in the net, I'll try some in the net anyway. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to do all of this. I'm going to have you sitting here watching me peel galangal. Not terribly exciting. Oh, it's a bit tough in places, but we'll keep going. Right, so there we've got a couple of nice pieces. Just get that dirty bit off the end, and I'm going to chop it nice and thin. Hopefully it's not shaking the camera too much. Alright, now the bits I'm going to regrow, there's a nice bud on that. We'll chop that off there. Chop that old. Hopefully we'll get this one growing and this one growing. I'll make a nice one in there. Let me show them. Cut that off because I think it's dried out too much. Cut that off. It's really shaking the camera, isn't it? Alright, so this one will be planted. This one I'll leave out to dry a little bit and then plant it. And we'll see how that goes. So we'll get on with peeling and freezing and drying the rest of it. So now I've sliced it relatively thin. and that will go in the dryer like that. I've cut up some more for planting, and as we can see, got a nice little place for it to grow there and there. And this one, not a lot of places for it to grow, so I probably will peel that. Yes, I think I'll peel that and freeze it. But we've got another one here that's got this really good growth on the end here, and another one there. So that's another 2 to plant. They're a reasonable size, so they should be good. Okay, so here's my drying. I've got some curry leaves at the top, some bay leaves in there. I've just popped the galangal in. So if we go around and have a look, just sort of spread it out. I'll be putting a lot more in there, of course. Hopefully this will dry nicely. There we go. I've got a heap more to put in there, but that'll do for a start. And let's see how it goes. So one of the other things I'll do is I'm going to take some of the larger pieces, give them a proper clean, bit of a scrub, pop them in the plastic bag here, freeze them, and see how they stand up to that. One other thing before I go. Last year I grew some turmeric, which is kind of ginger, I believe. And here it is here, I've frozen it. Pull a piece out. No, it's nice, pretty small. But it still seems pretty good. I've used some since. So hopefully the galangal will freeze just as well, and I'll be able to keep it for a bit longer. So I think that's the end of it. I shall update the growing to see if the rhizomes that I saved actually do take off and grow. Hopefully they won't rot. I'll be growing them in my greenhouse, and sometime in spring, give you an update. See you in the garden.